Tonight we have Rabbi Danny Rich with us. We have Elkan Levy in Israel with us, and of course all of you who it's lovely to have, whether you were with us last night or whether you're here for the first time this evening. I hope you've had a lovely Shabbos. I'm Ed Horwich. I'm Chief Executive of Jewish Small Communities Network, if you haven't worked that one out so far, and it really is lovely to have you here. We've got a mixture of various things on the menu this evening, and for those of you who requested and received a one Shabbat pack, you can use your little Besamim pouch, which we've got here, that's helpful if you've got some wine or some grape juice also, but you can, probably virtually use your hands against Danny Rich's candle for that part of Havdalah when we get to it. Havdalah is around about in the middle of what we're doing this evening. One little story as we're remembering and commemorating the Queen, that I know that the Queen's faith, in her Christianity is very strong. However, I did learn today that she actually has her own Sefer Torah, which is in the collection at Windsor Castle. And it comes from, as many of you will know, some of these are distributed all over the place, the Czech Sefer Torah, which were saved during the war. And that she has her own, which she cherishes. So we'll be remembering the Queen at the end of this evening as well. First off, we have a lovely piece of music, which is, it's Achat Sha'alit, which is one of the verses of Psalm 27, and is commonly sung during Sukkot, but it's a really lovely song. And this one is sung by Yonatan Razel and his family, and I'm going to share that with you now. I can find it on here. Must be this one. There we go. If you would stay on mute during the evening, and that would be great. But like I say, we will have time to unmute at the end. hope you enjoyed that. I enjoyed it. I hope you could read the words at the bottom. They weren't completely accurate. That was a bit of a quick attempt to subtitle it from me, because we weren't able to find the accurate song sheet that we could give you from there. But next, coming up, we have a few words from Rabbi Warren Elf about the meaning and what Havdalah is. Sorry, wrong one. Get rid of that.
I suppose at this time on Shabbat, there's the question that arises, why do we have Havdalah? Well, we've just had the most special and amazing 25 hours celebrating Shabbat, Shabbos, our Sabbath, our day of rest, of menucha, time out from the business and doing and making of our world. Just as we bring Shabbat in with the lighting of candles and kiddush as a barrier, if you like, from the working week and a gateway into our day of rest, it certainly makes sense to have an official ceremony to mark the close of that Shabbat as well. So the ending of this special and holy day, our day of rest, needs to be marked rather than let it just slip back into the mundaneness and the work and the busyness of the week and into weekday life. And Havdalah means division or separation. It marks the official ending of Shabbat and reminds us that we are now returning to the normal, everyday world. Havdalah helps us to ensure that Shabbat does not just fizzle out. We don't just blur the lines between the end of holy time and space and the start of the new working week. We use the light and the wine in the same way we did at the start of Shabbat, but slightly differently. And we also have the special fragrance, because we want the fragrance of Shabbat to stay with us, to linger beyond Shabbat into the working week, so that we don't forget the specialness of Shabbat. And as soon as we finish this Shabbat and we're aware of the 6 working days ahead, we're also looking forward and longing for next Shabbat, when we can take time out to pray, to study, to be together, to be with family, friends, community. So as we end this Shabbat, we mark that separation, that division. So as we enter Shabbat, enter Havdalah, may I wish you Shabbat Shalom for this wonderful Shabbat that's drawing to a conclusion. And God bless.
Thank you to Warren. So that's an explanation about Havdalah taking us out from Shabbat into the new week, and then again next Shabbat, giving us that fresh time that we have to think about Shabbat and to take a different time away from our everyday next Shabbat. Last night we had a wonderful contribution from Montreal, from Rev Hazan Daniel Benlolo and his community. And we've got another contribution again this evening. This time it's Ladino once again, and it's Quando El Rey Nimrod, and Reverend Benlolo is going to explain what that's all about.
Just give you a very quick story about in the golden age of Spain, where Jews thrived, and there's a story that says that we all, the Jewish community used to go out on Saturday evening, just as the stars would come out, and they would all come out and meet on the street. But they used to wait for the stars to come out. And when they used to wait for the stars to come out, usually 3 stars, they used to sing a song. And it used to go like this, which is a very popular song taken from Yoram Gaon. And no, not this was the other one. That's an NCSY one. NCSY wasn't at
years and years ago.
Shabbos is going away. So this used to be like a very popular song. It goes, Quando le regni merò dal capo salia, mirava el en cielo, y en la estrella vidó una luz santa, en la judería que había de nacer Abraham Avinu. Abraham Avinu, Padre querido, Padre bendito, luz de Israel. Abraham Avinu, Padre querido, Padre bendito, luz de Israel. And we adopted it now, and we sing it sometimes on Friday night. And we sing what? יגדל אלוהים חי וישתבח נמצא ואין היטל מציאותו אחד בן יחיד כייחודו נעלם וגם אין סוף לאחדותו. אברהם אבינו, Padre querido, Padre bendito, luz de Israel. Abraham Avinu, Padre querido, Padre bendito, luz de Israel. And this was the song to introduce it. And now, many, many years later, in the Sephardic community, we started singing Laner veli vesamim nafshi meyachela. Laner veli vesamim nafshi meyachela. Im titnu li kos shel yain lehavdalah. Im titnu li kos shel yain Havdalah, solu erachim li panu lenevocha pitechu she'arim li kol malachei mala im titnu li kos shel yain behavdalah im titnu li kol shel yain lehavdalah.
Well, I can see that some of you enjoyed that as much as I did. I can see you were singing along, clapping away. That's a little bit of an insight into what the Ladino Sephardic life is like, and really, really joyous. I hope you enjoyed that. Now, it is indeed time for Havdalah, and I'm very pleased to welcome Rabbi Danny Rich, and Danny is going to perform the Havdalah blessings for us. So over to you, Danny.
Thank you very much. Shavuot Tov. If you've got a candle, you want to light it, then please do so. You can see to my right, the candle is lit. And we remind ourselves that time has now stood still. But now the Shabbat, so over Shabbat, time has stood still, but Shabbat is now ending. Soon, as we've heard, everyday life will start again. We feel a sense of regret, perhaps, at the transition from rest to toil, from peace to struggle, from holy to mundane. But the resumption of the daily round also raises fresh hope. Perhaps the coming week will bring us nearer to the time of which the Shabbat is a foretaste, when good will triumph over evil and joy prevail over sorrow, the time when the process of redemption will be complete. Hine Elishuati eftach v'lo efchad, ki ozi v'zibra ya Adonai, v'yihi li Yeshua, u'shavtem mayim b'sason, b'ma'yanei ha-Yeshua, l'Adonai ha-Yeshua, l'amachavir katecha, selah. Kos Yeshuot esa, v'shem Adonai ekra. Raise this, this is a 19th century Russian Kiddush cup. I'm raising it, reminding ourselves the fruit of the vine, says the psalmist, gladdens the heart. With it we celebrate in anticipation the day implicit in God's promise, when the joy of the Shabbat will fill the hearts of all God's children and endure forever. Lai, lai, la, 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 lai, 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 la, 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 lai, lai, la, 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 lai, lai, la, la, lai, lai, la, la, lai. Baruch Adonai Melech haolam borei peri hagav borei hagav lai la 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 lai lai la 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 lai 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 la 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 la. La 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 la. The heightened spiritual awareness which the Shabbat confers is fading now. The neshama yitera, the additional soul that we have, or added soul which we have on Shabbat, is departing. And as it does, let these spices console us. For as their fragrance lingers, so something of the spirit of the Shabbat will remain with us, if we let it in the week to come. And now I know you're beginning to feel a little bit weak. The Shabbat is going. So if you open your spice box, I've got a traditional one here, a rather royal one in celebration of, or in marking of the Queen, with a flag on the top. I've also got an olive wood one here. I've got a pomegranate one here. And I've got an apple one. So you can choose which one. I'll use this one. And if you're feeling a bit that your Shabbat, extra Shabbat soul has gone, this should wake you up a bit. Lie, lie, la, 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 lie, 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 la, 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 lie, 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 la, 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 lie, lie, la, la, lie, lie, la, la, lie. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam borei minei v'samim borei minei v'samim lai la la lai 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 la 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 lai 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 la 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 lai lai la la la. The rabbis tell us that as night descended to the closing of the world's first Shabbat, Adam was afraid and wept. Then God showed him how to make fire, and by its light and warmth, to dispel the darkness and its terrors. Kindling light is a reminder of our first labor on earth, a symbol of civilization, and an expression of hope. Soon this Havdalah candle will be extinguished, but the memory of its very clear brightness should endure through part of the week. And there are lots of bizarre customs associated with Havdalah, including the fact that women shouldn't drink from the Havdalah wine lest they apparently grew moustaches. The candle will be as high as the bride or the groom. All sorts of interpretations, which as a rationalist liberal Jew, of course, I find them more difficult to deal with, and some others more mystical. Perhaps Elkan will help us out later on in that one. But there is this idea that you can look with your fingers. You might just be able to get it onto mine and see the contrast on your fingernails between light and darkness. Lie, lie, la, 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 lie, 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 la, 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 lie, lie, Lai, lai, la, 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 lai, lai, la, la, lai, lai, la, la, lai. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam borei morei ha'esh borei ba'orei ha'esh lai la la lai 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 la 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 lai 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 la 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 lai 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 la 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 la. The Jewish people are called to be a kingdom of priests, and so we have been taught to distinguish between sacred and secular, holy and mundane. The distinction is real but not final. The commonplace can be sanctified. That is our task. As we conclude the Shabbat, remind ourselves that the time of redemption will come, but it is not yet. We think of the real meaning of the distinction of Havdalah. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, hamavdil ben kodesh lechol, ben or lechoshech, ben yom hashvi'i l'sheshet yemei ha'maaseh. Baruch atah Adonai, hamavdil ben kodesh lechol. As the Sabbath ends, we give thanks once more for its blessings. The moment of its passing is bittersweet, but we let it go in the sure knowledge that the Sabbath will punctually return forever. Hamavdil ben kodesh lechol, chatotenu yimchol, zarenu yarbe kachol, v'chochavim balayala. Shavua tov, 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 Shavua tov. Yom pana ketzel tomer, ekra la'el alai gomer, ama shomer, ata voker, v'gam layala. Shavua tov, 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 Shavua tov. Eliyahu hanavi, Eliyahu hatishbi, Eliyahu hagiladi, b'meira b'yameinu yavo aleinu, im besorot tovot, yeshuot v'nechamot. Shavua Tov, a good week, a week of peace and wholeness. May gladness reign and joy increase.
Danny, thank you so much for a very moving and beautifully made Havdalah. I hope you enjoyed that, everybody. That was really, really, really nice. And thank you for Danny for getting back home and being able to do that for us. And I know he's been with another community for Shabbos, and Kol Havkavod for that and for being with us this evening. Now it's my great pleasure to go over to Israel to welcome back Elkan Levy. Of course, Elkan did Havdalah for us last year on one Shabbat, and Elkan, it's really nice and to see you in much better health than you have been. I'm not going to linger on that, but it's nice to see you back tonight, and you've got a few words for us, I think.
Ed, and thank you, Ed. Thank you for asking me back. And it's a great pleasure to be here and to see quite a number of very familiar faces have logged in this evening. I'm greeting you from the city of Netanya, as I described it earlier to my friend Danny Rich, Bournemouth on the Med. It's full of English immigrants, and we're about 20 miles north of Tel Aviv, and it's very pleasant. This Shabbat portion, Kitetse, dealt with a lot of social responsibility. Lost property. If you build a house with a flat roof, make sure there's a parapet on it. There's a discussion about justice. There's things about the prompt payment of wages. All various acts that produce what Jonathan Sacks called social capital, the behavior of people one to another that makes society work properly. In this country, people tend to look after another. On one occasion, my partner Andy was rushed into hospital. This is some years ago, but immediately all her friends and even people who didn't know her so well rallied round, made sure she was okay, brought her things in hospital, took her dog to the kennels. Nobody walked away on the basis that it wasn't their problem. On one occasion, I broke down on the road, and complete strangers stopped to help me. I think actually we were going to some function and somebody said, oh, get in the back of my car, I'll take you there and you can come back afterwards and get the car. On another occasion, I remember going late to a wedding and I had no idea where I was going. And I stopped and I asked a complete stranger, oh, he said, you're going the wrong way. Just follow me. And he drove 10 miles out of his way to take me where I needed to be. That's the sort of society that we have in Israel. And that's the sort of society actually that is not just for Jews, but increasingly goes across the Jewish-Arab divide. At the moment, society that we live in tends to be very self-centered. And from what all the experts tell us, the world is facing a huge period of disruption. In Britain, there are reported shortages of energy, poverty, huge difficulties, shortage of food. No doubt some of this will reflect itself in Israel, although we are perhaps more self-sufficient. At the moment, we are in the middle of the Hebrew month of Elul. Rosh Hashanah begins 2 weeks tomorrow evening. We are therefore twice a day reciting Psalm 27, the David Hashemari, which begins for David. The Lord is my light and my salvation. Who shall I fear? The Lord is the stronghold of my life. Whom shall I dread? The last verse of the psalm I find particularly moving. Kaveh el Adonai, trust in the Lord. Chazak v'yametz libecha, be strong and of good courage. V'kaveh el Adonai, and trust in the Lord. This not only introduces us to the whole theme of Rosh Hashanah and Yom Kippur, the Yamim Noraim, the High Holy Days, but is also a guidepost to our conduct in the years ahead. For us as human beings, and especially as Jews, despite some of the problems that we are facing, and there's no doubt that anti-Semitism is on the rise, there's no doubt that anti-Semitism has become socially acceptable. Nonetheless, we live in an age of enormous toleration. We live in an age where being a Jew and a committed Jew is no longer a major barrier to advance. Under the reign of the late Queen, the whole of British society became more open and more multicultural. It's no longer a bar to any sort of progress not to be a member of the Church of England. For us as Jews, with this sort of bright future, it is our duty to look after each other and to reinforce our own faith. What the late Rabbi Sacks called social capital is a virtue. which we should all practice and from which we will all benefit. My partner Andy joins me in wishing you all a happy, healthy, peaceful, and successful 5783.
Elkan, thank you so much. And without more ado, I think some messages from some of those who've supported us, some people who've shared Shavua Tov messages, and this short little video is going to give you a few of those.
Just give you a very...
Pick the wrong one again. Let me just get the right one. Here we go.
And I wish you all a Shana Tova for the new year. Thank you.
Parent from Paperweight, the Jewish Communities Advice and Resource Centre, wishing Shana Tova and a happy and healthy year to all the Jewish communities around the UK. If you're in crisis or if you're feeling alone and you need help with financial, legal or welfare matters, Paperweight are here for you.
From all of us here at CST, Community Security Trust, a very happy new year to each and every one of our smaller communities, and indeed to those of you who are living remotely. Shana Tova. We're here to help everyone all year round.
You might have spotted Yanina singing Shana Tova in the background there. Just a few more things to go before the end of our Havdalah tonight. We're going to have a lovely upbeat version. In fact, I think it's a slightly bluegrass version of Mizmor Shiru in a minute. And then after that, we're going to unmute to say hello, Shana Tova, Shavua Tov, whatever you like. And if you put your cameras on, then people can see who you are. They might recognize one another a bit better if you've not got a big screen. Just make it easy for everybody. But now you're going to really enjoy this one. I enjoyed it. It's Ariel Wyner singing Mizmor Shiru, like I said, but it's to the melody of Shlomoh Carlebach's Kivam Moed. Oh, somebody on needs to mute. That one. Here we go. Well, I don't know, but I think I'm going to be singing that all week. Maybe you're going to be doing that as well. You can find that on YouTube, by the way. That's, I hope, a really fun end to our Havdalah tonight. The last thing to do is for you to unmute yourselves, put your cameras on, wave, say hello, put some messages in the chat. I'm going to be in touch with you all by email. I hope you will do me the honor of giving us some great feedback, and that will help us do an even better One Shabbat next year. And your help is really appreciated. So unmute yourselves, say Shavua Tov. Elkan, thank you today.
Thank you.
Shavua Tov.
Danny, Sue and Julian send the love.
Thank
you, Ed.
You're very welcome.
Shavua Tov.